Cheers. Don't get me wet. I was supposed to get y'all wet, not the other way around.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Rich Holland's situation gets even more dramatic, and quite frankly, a little bit more suspicious, if you ask me. Apparently, there's a psychopath going after a wrestler by talking to their family, even though their family isn't aware of who they are, because these people are fucked in the head. We'll get into that. Ricochet decides to take his toe and dip it into politics. And apparently Brody Queen has a story that he wants to tell everybody. And for some reason, he really wants to emphasize it, even though no one asked him to tell this disgusting ass story. So with that being said, I feel like I want to actually connect more with you guys. No, I don't. Let's get into the video. Fuck you all. Wow, talk about fucking timing. That's what I'm talking about. So originally, I was just gonna, obviously through the dirt sheets, give you WWE's side of things and, you know, kind of just still go down my links and talk more about the story as the story started to progress, right? Lucky for me, not even 10 minutes before I started to record, I was getting my last few links ready for the, you know, the progressing stories throughout the video, right? And literally 10 minutes before I started to record, Rich Holland just made himself a new YouTube channel. I'll leave the link down in the description box below. I made it a point to cut out one of the videos or a portion of the video, an excerpt, because that's the portion of the video where he's kind of quasi-responding, maybe not directly to WWE, but giving his side of the things in regards to the whole drama that's currently ongoing right now, right? So lucky for me, I get to actually put that actual clip in this video after reading WWE's side of the thing. So it's kind of like a back and forth. But nevertheless, because actually, I should probably give you guys the context real quick just to keep you up to speed. Obviously, you guys are aware that Rich Holland was a part of the releases about a month or so ago, right? He got released from his contract. He was bummed out because he was injured while he got released, yada yada this, yada yada that. Well, after he went out of his way, because he was countdowning when he was going to actually stop being, because obviously after, you know, you're released, you get paid by WWE for a certain amount of time. Then after your non-compete is over with, right, you no longer get paid from the company. As you guys know, common sense, right? He was counting down the days where his non-compete was going to be over, and he would have to actually, you know, look for, you know, little bookings here and there, or do whatever he can in order to accommodate his unfortunate situation right now, right? Well, he put up that tweet, and I did a video on that, maybe the last one or the one before that, I can't remember, where he went out of his way to talk about his predicament. In particular, he was talking about his mortgage situation, saying that he may lose his mortgage, right? And since that point in time, WWE has ceased paying him in general, even past the point of the non-compete, right? They have just ceased paying him in general. Now, people are obviously having an uproar about this. I don't know the extent as to whether or not he's like completely released from his contract now and he gets to do other things, or if he's still stuck within that non-compete and he's not getting paid. I don't know the extent to that, nor do I actually care, because the main crux is what I want to discuss here. So let me read you WWE's side of the things, at least coming from some of the moderators in between, right? And then afterwards, I'll show you the video of Rich somewhat kind of responding, more or less giving his side of the things, right? So, and I quote, "In your deal, you're not supposed to talk badly about the company in public. And so they felt that they now have the right to fire him. It's going to cost them. It'll either be 1 week's pay or 2 weeks' pay, because he wasn't getting paid beyond November 14th anyway. They didn't need to do it. I guess they felt that they, however you want to look at it, they wanted to send a message to everybody out there that if you say anything bad, you can be cut. And that's what happened. I have been told the other side from them, which is essentially that he should have known from last year that the way everything went down, that he probably wasn't going to be under WWE much longer either way, and he was getting paid through the end of what WWE deal, of that WWE deal, excuse me. Their feeling is as well, when you know that this is happening, you should adjust your finances and everything like that. At the end, I may lose my mortgage. They weren't happy he said that. So that's the WWE side of the things, right? Now, let me show you what Rich Holland said, somewhat as a rebuttal, but once again, it's more just clarification on his side. Check this out.
Fantastic, they're the boys, everything. You know, I can't say enough good things about that place. And then unfortunately, the day after I had that match with Santana, what had happened was I was going for a pop-up powerbomb on Moose. He jumped because he's so athletic. He jumped so high, I thought I was going to lose him. So I stepped forward, he came down. I stepped back, the foot twisted, and that was the injury. So I had surgery. I think I recovered for about a week, and I'd got a kind of like a complimentary stay at one of the resorts in Orlando for the family, because my mum had flown over to help with the kids because I was incapacitated, really couldn't really do much. And then we got there the first day. That's when I got the call that they said that they weren't going to renew my contract. Okay, well, I'm injured and don't know how I'm going to make a living. And everyone, you know, I've seen comments about money management and financial stuff. I'm not going to air my financial details on here. Nobody knows. Everyone has their own opinion, but like I've always said, you know, opinions are like arseholes, right? Everyone's got one, and the majority of them stink. So yeah, I don't want to get into that. The point of this is just to say that I'm grateful for the journey that I've been on. I'm grateful for the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what I do want to hold my hands up for is that last tweet that forced the situation to get worse. That was purely out of frustration, and I'm mad at myself for doing that, because something that is kind of out of character for me. I don't react that way, but I think knowing that my career with WWE was coming to an end, and I never really got to show my true potential, whether that's my fault or situational regarding injuries or things that happened, whatever, I felt kind of a little bit wronged. I don't know who by, just by the whole situation. So I hold my hands up, and if I had the time again, I wouldn't have posted that tweet, but I needed an outlet. I needed to vent.
So you get the gist of it, right? As far as his rebuttal, that's the only part that I wanted to focus on. I mean, his video overall is like 11 to 12 minutes, and I feel like almost taking 2 minutes of it, that is already bad enough for such a short video, but I needed to have context in order to explain to you guys. Fair use. But I highly recommend you go check out the rest of the video if you want to follow what he's been saying in regards to how he got to this point right here. Highly recommend checking out the video. But like I said, wanted to focus on that excerpt in itself, right? Because him saying that, I have a couple of problems. I have a lot of problems, actually, a lot of problems, but we'll focus on two in particular, right? Because he says, and mind you, I'm not trying to be the person to kick a person while they're down, but you say, I feel like I was wronged in this situation. You can feel like you were wronged, and that's why everybody is so emotional right now. You're thinking about this, and I get Rich Holland. He's the person that's being affected by it. But you weren't wrong, though. That's the thing. You weren't wronged. Not you weren't wrong. You weren't wronged with an ED in the end of that, okay? You are in a situation where you're incapacitated. And your incapacitation, it's already bad enough that when you were at full health, I'm just going to be honest with you, bro. I'm just being a straight shooter. No one's going to miss you. No one will miss you in that capacity. You brought nothing to the table. You can say that WWE held back your potential this, held back your potential that. You didn't show any potential. You didn't. You didn't. If for anything else, you were more trouble than you were worth. Now, obviously, things happen by accident, but the Big E situation, Big E was more over than you. Big E made more money for the company than you did. You were more trouble than you were worth, even though it was an accident. Clearly, it was an accident. And I'm not here to use that as a club to hit him over the head or anything like that. But when you say things like you were wronged, no, bro, you were not wronged. You were given opportunity after opportunity where people in your position have done much less, got fired over. You were not wronged. You were with the company for like over 5 years. Over 5 years. This is past the point of that situation with Big E. You were not wronged. You decided to open up your mouth. Now I'm happy that you were at least man enough to say that. You know, you are man enough to admit that you were wrong. You were wrong without the ED venting like that, because that venting put you into a predicament where now you're starting to ask yourself questions as to how you're going to make money from your family when it might not have been as much. I don't know what your downside or what you were getting in regards to during your non-compete, but it was still money nonetheless. And you decided to open your mouth and you ruined that. That you were not wronged at all. Don't do that. Don't play victim. And another point that really, really rubbed me the wrong way, and this is a nice segue, right? He said he doesn't have to disclose anything in regards to his financials. Now you may say to yourself, Devontae, yeah, he's right. He has every right not to do that. And yeah, and I would agree. In any other situation, he has every right not to disclose his money issues, because he said people were trolling him, coming after him about how bad he was with money and management and all that other kind of. Typically, you would not have to go out of your way, and I would not expect you to go out of your way to disclose any of that information. Now people are donating money to you. Now you have a GoFundMe. I'll leave the link down in the description box below, and let me read that for you really, really quick, okay? Let me go more into detail if you don't mind, okay? Now a GoFundMe has been launched to help Holland, his wife, and their 3 children. I thought it was 5. Okay, never mind. I don't know the context, but I swear I thought I heard 5 at first. And their 3 children make it through what's become an incredibly difficult time. The fundraiser, organized by Susan Chapman of St. Cloud, Florida, aims to raise $60,000 to keep the family afloat while Holland undergoes surgery and a lengthy recovery. The GoFundMe tells the story bluntly. A hard-working husband, a devoted wife, and 3 beautiful children, and a devastating injury that threatens to take it all away. Which, by the way, for context, WWE is paying for his, injury and the surgeries and all that stuff. Not sure if he's going to say it here, but I'm going to say it for you. And it describes Holland as a 1099 contractor, making him ineligible for workers' compensation, paid leave, or post-release financial support from WWE. Which, stop right there. Again, no, because here's my thing. You decided to take this path. I have a 1099. I do. You know why? Because I work a 9 to 5. That's my decision. Just like you made a decision to be an independent contractor. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? The post goes on to explain that the family already endured a 55% pay cut when Holland resigned in 2024 and are now at risk of losing their home. Then why didn't you downsize? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. They are at risk of losing their home, of falling into debt they may never escape, of having their kids face a holiday season filled with fear and uncertainty rather than joy. Welcome to the real world. Do you know how many people have to go through situations like this? What makes you so fucking special? That's the part that's killing me also, bro. That's the part that kills. What makes you so special? And look, you have all these wrestlers donated to him, which fine. Do whatever you like to do with your money, right? It's your money in the end of the day. Fine. I can't tell you how to use your money. Look at some of the people. Raj Desi, I don't know who that is. Not sure, but nevertheless though. Kyle Fletcher. Nick Massey, which I think that's the Young Bucks. Chelsea Green, she ended up donating $1,000. Omos ended up donating $1,000. Sure, all I'm saying is like, I feel like you guys are enabling this situation, right? You're enabling this situation without knowing the fullest extent of what this man has actually done with his money. From my understanding, and I looked up some of this information, he was being paid $200,000 as far as a salary. Now, if that was cut, if that's what he's referring to as far as what was being cut by 55%, is he saying that? I doubt that. I highly doubt that, because for that to be cut into, 55%, that means now he's making in the 5 figures. And he was on the main roster, which I'm more inclined to believe he was actually probably making around 400,000 something and then dropped down to 200,000. I'm more inclined to believe that. And you were making that kind of money for over 5 years, right? Right? Where did all that money go, bro? Yeah, I think you do owe people an explanation as to what happened with that money if you're accepting donations. If you're not accepting donations and you're just going to live your life and do whatever you're going to do, then you don't owe anybody an explanation. But when you're actively taking money from people, you absolutely owe people an explanation as to what the fuck you originally did with your money. Here, let's check out some of these reactions. Because again, this right here, this is wild to me. This is actually wild. This guy says, Coffee Thoughts 178, whatever the fuck that means. Fans need to put serious pressure on WWE to make this Ridge Holland situation right. To not extend a wrestler's contract when they are dealing with a long-term injury is simply wrong. Then to end it early due to them speaking out about it is even worse. No, they don't have to. You signed the contract. You knew the pros and cons behind it. You knew the pros were making six-figure amount, and again, I don't know what you did with that fucking money, but you knew those were the pros, and the cons were the situation that you're currently in right now. Which, by the way, WWE is still doing their part. Their part was you got injured on their time, and therefore they're paying for your surgery. That's the part that they should do. They are by no means obligated to still pay you money after you left. And here's my thing, they did. And what did you do? You spoke out. You, more or less, most likely broke an NDA. Whose fault is that? You people. And your emotional state is wild to me. It's wild. It's wild. This person says, this whole Ridge Holland situation is baffling. All WWE did was tell him his contract wasn't being renewed. If he kept his mouth shut, they wouldn't have cut it early. He was getting his main roster salary whilst in NXT, so where's the money go? Yes! Now, I don't know how he was being paid structurally, but I agree with the portion as far as him saying all he had to do was keep his mouth shut. That's not me saying it. That's Ridge Holland also saying it out of frustration. You let your fingers do the talking and your emotions got carried away. Whose fault is that? That's nobody's fault but his own. Thank you for saying that. And look, check out another comment. Check this out. Ridge Holland's situation sucks. It's terrible, but it is in no way unimaginable hardship. Seems incredibly disrespectful to all of the families that have been torn apart by death, illness, shootings, etc., and haven't had their GoFundMes published to the masses thanks to their problem. I guess he meant to say that, but my point being is, now, do I have to actually conflate, death and illness and shootings and all that stuff as far as misfortunes in order to, go after Ridge Holland and his GoFundMe stuff? No, I think that's a little bit carried away, but I get the fundamental consensus as far as what he's trying to get across. I understand his point, right? As I said earlier, people go through things in life and they don't have donations or GoFundMes to get them through their situations. And look, good on Ridge Holland for taking advantage of the situation, but I'm talking about the people who are actually donating. Use that money for yourself. He can figure out his own goddamn problems. Okay, you should probably take that money, and if you're going to give it to charity, give it to the actual people who did not start off like a Ridge Holland, who did not ever get the opportunities like a Ridge Holland. Give those people the money who can at least have an opportunity, and when they inevitably fuck up, you don't donate any more money to them. Don't give it to someone who clearly and obviously mismanaged their fucking money. That's so obvious. I'm to the point now that's so fucking obvious. Oh, and this is my favorite comment right here. This is the last actual reaction I want to talk, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Spent 7 years in WWE and can't pay his bills just 3 weeks after being released. Something isn't adding up here. Sorry if I'm not rushing to give this guy my money. Absolutely fucking agree. Agree. Makes no sense, right? Spent 7 years in WWE, can't pay his bills just 3 weeks after being released. Either A, you're fucking lying, B, you are horrible with fucking money, and you just refuse to downsize from what you're already at, or C, and this could just be my opinion, and honestly, maybe I'm jumping a little bit to the gun, okay? It could just be the fact that maybe, just maybe, you're living a lifestyle that you can't afford and you want to keep continuing funding that lifestyle. Maybe it's your wife, right? Maybe your kids have a certain way and you feel like your pride is being attacked knowing that you would have to downsize. But again, maybe it's most likely fucking B, because C makes no sense, because if you had any fucking pride, you wouldn't be accepting money like this. Look, you guys can do whatever you want to do with your money. I'm not gonna, typically I would like to put people's, donation stuff and put the link inside there when I know for a fact that they're actually suffering and it wasn't at the hands of their own, stupidity or anything like that. I don't trust them. I'm not gonna put his GoFundMe in my description box. I don't trust it. But you guys can go look it up if you want to, and if you want to go plunk your money into someone who clearly doesn't know what the fuck to do with money, By all rights, go ahead. I ain't gonna be that guy though.
So you already know that I'm a fat girl who loves to eat, so come eat with me at Chris and Eddie's. I started off with a vanilla shake, and it was really good. My friend Ashley got a strawberry shake, and she was in love. And my friend Skylar got a chocolate shake, and well, it was a 10 out of 10. But now it's time to get into the delicious food. I got some yummy loaded cheese fries, and it was so delectable. Then I like...
Oh my God, bro. Oh. Bro, I now can say that I can feel the emotions of a cartoon character. Now you may be saying to yourself, Devontae, what the fuck are you talking about? That's one hell of a segue. Shut your dumb ass up. I'm explaining it right now. I can now feel the emotions of a cartoon character. You remember that episode of SpongeBob SquarePants? It's the episode with Flats. He wants to kick my butt. Do you remember the old man standing at the bus stop and SpongeBob running by and screaming that out loud, and the crowd of people turning around and seeing the old man and them going, how many times we have to teach you this lesson, old man? I now feel that. I now understand that feeling. Carmen Petrovic, and I quote, "Hey friends, usually I'm really good with responding to my squat." Devontae, you're on her side. You're on her side. You're on her side. You're on her side. And trying to be as engaging as possible. But if I don't respond, please do not reach out to my family or friends through personal phone numbers in order to get in contact with me. That will get you blocked. Now, I don't know, call me crazy. I live in a world where that's called common sense. That's called logic. Why does that need to be explained? I swear, I feel like, how long has it been? Have I gone a month since uploading videos this entire year where I didn't have to talk about a situation like this? I feel like I have to have at least one crazy ass fan doing something really, really fucking crazy type of, I don't know, timestamp in every fucking video that I do at least once a month, right? At least once. I almost say at least once a month. Can we get some of the responses? Now, the question is, because I'm now up to here when it comes to humanity, are we going to get some sane responses? Some sane responses. Are we? Can we? I doubt it. Okay, let's see this one fan right here. Okay. This is obviously a step too far. Why would that even be an option to someone? Okay, sane. I mean, it has a weird Barbie emoji or meme, I guess. Why? This one is just another GIF. What the fuck? What's with all the GIFs? What's with all the... You can't even get the same responses from some of these people. You can't even get... You know, and I know people are going to probably, Devontae, you're just old. You're old men yelling at the clouds. I don't know, bruh. This reminds me of, like... Because this is a serious situation. You have someone legitimately being stalked. And your response is, oh no, oh my god, let me show you this meme. I'm going to show you how concerned I am. So it's already bad enough that you have Carmen, who's not taking this seriously, responding to people and calling them their fucking squad and shit like that. Like, the fact that you're even going with this on Twitter, okay, maybe it's not that big of a deal for you to go with this on Twitter. Maybe but then again, you could be enabling psychopaths by essentially saying, I notice you because you're a fucking retard. But for the people who are responding, for the people who are reacting, and I see this a lot, it's like the people who are going through struggles and stuff like that, and you know, I miss my mom. She passed away after 30 years of raising me. Crying emoji. I feel like that takes like so much of the out of the messaging. Better yet, why are you twit twit-longering your fucking emotions about your family? Go grieve with your family. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that Family Guy episode.
Good evening, Quahog. Grim details continue to roll in at this hour in the story of the detached airplane advertising banner, which caused a school bus to plummet into the Pawtuxet River.
That's right, Joyce. Quahog's own Goldman's Pharmacy made headlines across the country after a banner of theirs caused the bus to drive off a bridge, tragically killing all the teenagers on board. Many of the students tweeted about the accident as it was happening. We have a few here. From @Jenny94, water seriously cold, yo. Here's @TheTed69. I'm gonna survive this, LOL JK.
Like, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You take nothing seriously. This is a serious situation. Someone is actively being stalked, and you're just like, oh my god, I hope you feel okay. Interpretive dancing. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Oh my god, yo, rest in peace to my homie. Shows a picture of someone pouring alcohol in the grass. Oh, man. Society has really, really come a long way to know that this is where we're at right now. We have a thing in our hand, in our pocket, that we can whip out at any time. No diddy. And we can actually scroll down it. It's called a cell phone, right? A smartphone. And you can literally do anything you want with that device. You can call people from miles away and have conversations with them. You can make, I don't know, you don't even have to talk. You can actually type in words and have people deliver things to your house. Anything practically to your house. That is legal and legal. Don't say I said that though. You can look up any bit of information you want. You can listen to music whenever you want. You can play video games on it. You can watch movies, television shows, literally everything that everyone done or has done in their life as far as entertainment is considered, and learning that they have to go through multiple locations in order to get, some miles, some even inconveniently obstructed. You can just pull out your phone, out your pocket, anytime you want, and you can do that. You can actually do those things. And we live in an era right now where that's being taken for granted, to the degree where you have people like Carmen Petrovic, who is, instead of going to the police, I will hope she is, right? Or having people who are actually, sending legitimate condolences. Instead, we get, oh my God, hugs, smiley face emoji from far away, thinking about you, yas. What are we doing? Oh my God. Society needs to be skibbitied. It needs to be skibbitied immediately.
No more touching little girls, bro, alright? Look at your mans, though. Nigga is dumb tight. Hair look crazy. They can wrap them up. Oh, where your shoes at? You doing bad, bro. Stop touching girls.
Can you give me some respect and on top of me?
Nah, it's quiet. You're gonna have to feed yourself.
Who asked him? Curious. Who asked him? Did you ask him? Did I ask him? Did anyone ask Ricochet about his political opinions? No. But for some reason, it's posted. I don't know. I'm wondering why as well. This guy put out a post, right? He said, it's official. New Yorkers forgot. And on one side of the picture, there's the Twin Towers attacks. And then on the other side of the picture, you have Zoran Mondani, the New York mayor, whatever. And Ricochet ended up tweeting this out. Only racist people would be mad about this. I say again, who asked them? Why are you making this a point of contention? Oh, but then it gets even better, because here you have Mansoor and here you have Mustafa Ali. And Mansoor, after taking this picture of him and Mustafa, ended up putting out this tweet. Dick Cheney, who just recently passed away, the former vice president, along with George W. Bush, or H.W. Bush, I guess. No, I guess it would have been W. Bush. Sorry, I'm retarded right now. He said Dick Cheney is dead and a Muslim is mayor of New York City. We up. Not a big fan of the Cheneys. I do not like the Cheneys. Do not like the Bushes at all. You know what I hate worse than them? Celebrating their death. It's like again, it's the SpongeBob thing. How many times we have to teach you this lesson? Like, is that like the left's entire platform is just celebrating people's death? Like, bro, between Hogan and then Charlie and then this, like, is that just like your whole platform is just like, haha, that guy's dead because he decided to say girls were boys? Like, is that like your entire fucking platform? Like, right? He disagreed with me. Girls are not boys, and boys are not girls. You said that, and therefore you deserve to croak. But, back to the point, Ricochet ended up retweeting this. Why? I don't know either. No one told him to. No one asked him to. So someone called him out about the original 9/11 tweet. He said, so hold up. I agree associating a Muslim to 9/11 is racist, but to say only racist people should be or would be mad at this is taking it a step way too far. You can hate the politician and not be racist. Of which Ricochet said, yes, but please use logic here. The post is literally comparing the person to 9/11, and people are agreeing. This person said, yeah, I completely agree with you there. I'm just making sure the point wasn't if you're mad about him getting in, you're automatically labeled a racist. I don't know what any of that mumbo jumbo means, but Ricochet, Zohran Mamdani is compared to 9/11 because he campaigned with Hassan Piker. Now, he has gone out of his way to disassociate himself with Hassan, even though obviously he really hasn't, and he's only saying it for optical reasons. Hassan actually showed up to the after party when he actually won, and obviously he wasn't given a seat because, again, Zohran is distancing himself from Hassan, but obviously he campaigned with the man. He is still talking good of the man. Hassan typically doesn't talk good about people that even comes in his chat room and even says anything remotely critical of him. So if Hassan is still associating himself with Zohran by still championing him, even though Zohran has disassociated himself with Hassan, clearly they're probably still friends. Now, you may be asking yourself, Devontae, who the fuck cares? You may be also saying, who the fuck is Hassan Piker? Hassan Piker is a gentleman who is an extremist who goes out of his way to say things such as America deserved 9/11. I wish I could play the clip for you, but I also don't want to be age restricted and probably have my video taken down because obviously that is a disgusting statement. That's why the pictures were put together. Never mind anything in regards to all the affiliations, obviously, the globalized intifada and all that other kind of stuff. Put that to the side. We're just being straight up objective here. He campaigned with a man who said America deserved the 9 and the 1 and the 1. Sir, that's why the pictures are compared. You wouldn't know that because your brain is right underneath the surface level of your scalp. Maybe if we slap you hard enough in the back of the head, we can rejigger something within your mind, and maybe, just maybe, you can use common sense, or think, or do even basic amount of research. I don't care if you like Zohran Mamdani. I don't care if you voted for him. That's your business. I don't fucking live in New York. I don't give a shit. At the same time, though, if you're going to talk about the stuff that you want to talk about, have a modicum of just maybe just a bit of a touch of research prowess to at least have a conversation about what you're discussing. Okay, Ricochet? Oh, and I'd be completely remiss if I didn't say this right. This guy tweeted out, okay, AEW, I hope you guys have an HR department to take control of all of your wrestlers' social media accounts to prevent bullshit like this, and can be added for WWE, TNA, NWA, MLW, etc. This is obviously stemming off of the original post from Ricochet that started off all this, right? So Ricochet decided to respond back by saying, fuck my nuts, you pussy bitch, have your department take that down. Yo, Tony, this your mans? This is your mans right here? Mister, I'ma fuck up your proceeding legal obligations in regards to the Jon Moxley cameraman situation from like 2 years ago. This your man's right here still putting you in situations. Maybe you should go out of your way to maybe reprimand that. No one is saying reprimand his free speech, but when you're underneath the company's dime and you're clocked in, you should be locking in, my good sir, because once again, A, you're a retard who doesn't understand not even one semblance of what the fuck you're discussing at the moment, and 2, you're a retard causing division for no reason within the scope of wrestling. For what? You're like almost 40. Why does this need to be explained, my good man, my good sir, my good darling? Stop doing this. In fact, stop being you, Ricochet. Just do that. Just stop being yourself. Fucking idiot.
Yeah, you know what time it is. You know how we get down. What's that, an E? E for everyone, nigga.
Hey, where we at, gang? Where we at with it?
Connecticut. The block is hot, but the muzzle gets hotter. Fuck, nigga. Each of us has 2 loving parents.
Driving from O'Hare to Chicago.
Okay.
And a lot of traffic sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you have to pee in the middle of traffic. So Darby Allin is sitting in the back of the van.
This already made it.
This already makes a lot of sense. So I peed in a bottle, which is very normal for anyone that's been on tour.
Sure.
They thought it was insane.
Really?
They thought it was very gross that I was doing this.
It is gross, but it happens.
A little bit, yeah, you know.
So, you know, I was very hydrated that day. So they're freaking out. And of course, I'm like, I kind of want to take it a step further. So then I hold up the bottle of pee and they're like, ew! And then I just took a little drink of the pee. And they were like, ah! And then they were very freaked out by it.
What does pee taste like?
That's crazy, right?
It's just a little warm. It's sterile. It's fine. It's
and
fun.
also, that was my first time to meet him. It's crazy.
To no shock, Darby from the back of the van just goes, that's my kind of guy.
So, do we have to discuss that, or can we just get directly into the reactions? I prefer to get directly into the reactions. Okay, we're gonna get directly into the reactions. There's no reason to discuss the video in general. Kids, please don't drink your pee to impress your dumb friends. Yeah, I agree with that. I think I stand by that comment. And you all make fun of Brock for wanting a pee video when this moron drinks his own piss. What in the fucking fuck is wrong with people, bro? Yes, I think I also second that. What in the fucking fuck is wrong with people, sir? I agree with that. I agree with that. This person says, ICE agents over piss drinkers. Yeah, I think I agree with that too. Actually, there's a lot of things I agree with as far as ICE agents being over. But piss drinkers, that's a definite one. Gonna just A-okay that one if you don't mind. Closing statements on any of that? Yeah, I got nothing, boys. I got nothing. I'm just gonna end it on that right there. I'll let you guys talk about that amongst each other in the comment section. So you can discuss about how you feel about Brody being Brody and the AEW sickos enjoying Brody and apparently Darby Allin. You could talk about that. We can also talk about Ricochet apparently wanting to be the second coming of Rashida Tlaib. I mean, they both have about the same amount of hair, so I see why not, right? Sure, go for it, Ricochet. Dip your toes into Congress, and you go run for it, okay? You can be the person, okay? You can talk about all your failures, and that right there is enough to get you in the Congress, because all they do is accept failures. Let's talk about also, don't forget, boys, how do you feel about Carmen Petrovic having stalkers, and apparently people describing the stalkers as being very traumatic. Ooh, I'm so sad about your situation. Like, we could talk about that as well, right? And finally, can I get some opinions in regards to Rich Holland and his situation? Are you gonna donate to Rich Holland? Are you gonna be a fucking moron and give more money on top of more money that probably exists, but he won't tell you why or how or what happened to any of the money that he originally had? No! Go ahead, do you, be yourself, live your life. Go ahead, boy, do your thing. But with that being said, as always, my name is Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you fine folks later. Deuces and a P eyes.